Welcome to Cow Horse Full Contact by Ben Self with host Chris Dawson and Russell Dilday.
Cow Horse Full Contact is a view into the industry from our eyes, seeing some of the people that we've seen and grown up with, and getting to hear some of the stories we've loved our whole cow horse lives and would like to share with you. And along the way, we might come up with a little bit of information that helps you on your journey in the cow horse.
Welcome, folks. Cow Horse Full Contact. I'm Chris Dawson here with Russell Dilday. Got Ben Self behind the scenes. Today we've got the 2017 World's Greatest Horseman champion, John Swales. And I feel like I say this a lot, but this guy's been a hero of mine for a long time. Him and I split the prelims high score and got us a pair of the coveted Gordon Hayes stirrups, sponsored by Terry Rotto in memory of his son Jason Rotto, my favorite prize that I've ever won, and hopefully John feels the same way. But we got a great surprise today and had John walk in the studio here while we were recording, and so here it is, off the cuff with John Swales. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me.
So here we are in Texas in February, and I like the tank top you're wearing.
Yeah, thanks. It's pretty nice, huh?
It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Looks like it doubles as is that a sweater vest you have under it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish she'd have pulled it over when you did the spray tan, because like when it slips, you can see the white lines.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like you trimmed the beard from hunting camp, though.
Yeah, sure did.
Kind of clean cut a little bit.
Yep.
Sweet.
Did that used to be solid red?
Yeah, it was at one time. Yeah. It's getting a
Showing
little
some
gray now.
highlight, showing a little highlight, little age and wisdom.
Yeah.
Little wisdom.
My favorite story, like, I don't know, me and John, I don't know that, I think we're friends. I don't know that he thinks we're friends, but.
Not after this.
Not after this.
Yeah.
We're in Paso, and, there was a certain question raised about a cow pick for a non-pro, and John got a little agitated at the situation, and he's standing behind the judge's box, and I walk over, and I'm like, so you kind of look like you need a man hug.
Is that a thing in Canada?
Well, I don't know if it is in Canada, but I just thought it was in Texas, so I took it.
and that's where, for me, our friendship really blossomed.
It was helpful at the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, so you just got down here from Canada. Good drive?
Yeah, it was good. Yep. Roads were decent most of the way. Yep.
Yeah. So did you bring a trailer load of them?
Yep. Brought some 3-year-olds to ride around, a couple to show. My boys showing in the youth bridle. So.
Oh, nice. Hey, I saw the shaft tops that your dad was just making him.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing
cool.
like last minute, but whatever.
Right. Family affair.
Yeah.
Outstanding. What, you got a World's Greatest horse this year?
I do. Yep. Yep. Metallic Cat Rose.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
Chance Lee Harmon shout out.
Yeah, I showed her 2 years ago, and she was pretty good. Hopefully she'll be better this time.
Rock and roll. So it's we're in 2020 now. So 3 years ago, 2017, you emerged victorious on He's a Diamond Spark. And talk to us a little bit about that last World's Greatest experience there on Old Yeller.
Well, I guess it was early fall. The people that own him phoned me and asked me if I'd be interested in trying him, see if I would be interested in taking him. So
What was the history on that horse? Who'd had him before and what have you?
I think Sandy Collier had him originally, then Zane Davis had him for a little while. Then
That's the horse Justin Warnicki
Justin
showed, right?
Warnicki,
Yep.
yes. Justin showed him a bunch. I think he won maybe the Hackamore or Limited Hackamore, something like that, World Championship on him. He'd been really good for Justin. And Jesse and Elise Thompson bought him out of the Billings horse sale, and Jesse showed him at home a little bit, quite a bit actually, and did well on him. And so they asked if I'd be interested in taking him to World's Greatest, and I took him home and rode him around a little bit. He felt really good, so I said, yeah, let's give it a go. And
Right on. The rest is history.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Rock and roll.
So how old was he?
Oh, boy.
About
10 or 12? Yeah. Yeah, he had some age on him. Still honest horse, though. So honest.
pure.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've had a pretty long history coming down here, the World's Greatest. I mean, it's a long trek for you guys, but I remember you showing Maximum Echo there in Stephenville, right?
Yeah. I showed once in Stephenville. I showed in 2005, I think it was. That was the first time I ever came down here. And then went to San Angelo a few times. I had Maximum Echo in it once. Horse called Smart Miss Wolf. She made the finals twice on her. And yeah.
I know Trump wants to build a wall in the south, but I know that there's a handful of you guys that are awesome from up there in Canada that I've been wanting to petition to maybe build a wall up there, because it's between you and Kaylee and Dale Clearwater and Cody shoot fire. It's you guys come down here with some reckoning.
Yeah, I think we need that. I need a petition for it.
Wall,
It's ruining the market down here.
Right.
Taking all the spots away from the top.
Yeah.
Y'all can come down to judge. Other than that, stay up there in your frozen tundra land.
Yeah. It's nice to get out of the cold for a couple weeks in the winter.
All right. So take us back a little bit. I mean, growing up, oldest of 3 siblings, from what I gather, by a lot.
Yep. 10 years older than my sister, 8 older than my brother. Yep.
Yeah. So just beat them up and had your 2 little minions when you were growing up.
Yep. It was good. Yeah, they had to put up with a lot of abuse. Yeah.
Had somebody to clean your stalls and saddle your horses and things like this.
Oh, yeah, it didn't really work like that.
So talk a little bit about training up there in the north and dealing with the winters. And I don't know, maybe what you think the benefit of training indoors a lot in a smaller, quicker pen.
Oh, the training in the cold, I don't think's any different than training in the hot. We just kind of dress for it, whereas you guys got to ride early in the morning, and we can ride any time. It's cold all the time. Most of the time our winters aren't that bad. Sometimes we ride outside in the winter. This winter we got a lot of snow, so we're stuck inside. But I don't think it's a bunch different. We got a decent sized indoor now, so just track cattle around, and yeah, it's no different really. I don't think, other than we aren't outside, so we don't have as big a space, but you just learn to make do with whatever you got. For a long time, till a year ago, we had 120 by 90 indoor, so that's where we trained them all in there, and you just kind of figure out how to do it, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's some big time horsemanship right there. And I know, like I say, I try not to throw this around too much. I feel like the list of people that we've interviewed so far, I have interviewed a lot of my heroes in a short amount of time. But what really stood out to me about you, John, is when you guys would come down to the Snaffle Bit Fraternity and you guys would be paired up with your amateurs, and them horses were outstanding in the amateur and then turn right around, and I'm talking about 3-year-olds, and be super competitive in the open. Like that's something special. I don't know if anybody's ever trained a 3-year-old out there. Sharing a bridle horse is hard. Sharing a 3-year-old, I can't even imagine. And to be able to do it to the success that you've done it, I mean, before 2017 ever come along, I figured you were world's greatest horseman. You needed a trophy way before that. So talk a little bit about that. I mean, and do you find you have to do that more because of maybe the clientele up there, and or is it just something that you like to do?
I guess if they got a good horse and they want to ride it and you want to ride it, I guess something's got to give. So you just got to make the best of it and hope he's trained enough and a good enough horse that he'll be good for the non-pro and good for you as well. So
right. Well, I think that speaks volumes, because like I say, I know how hard it is to train 3-year-old just to be good for me. And I've tried to train some for non-pros, and that's a whole nother beast in itself. Like I say, and you add that 3-year-old element to it, and, trying to have them horses exposed to enough that they're safe to go down the fence on for a much more amateur sort of a rider. Wow.
How much at home with your program, sharing with your non-pros and your amateurs, about how much time do they spend on the horse, and when in the year do they start riding it on the 3-year-olds?
They've always had other horses, and so they would practice throughout the year on their other horse, and then just, they get to ride them maybe once a week or once every couple weeks, starting maybe 2 months out or so, tried to keep it at a minimum just to mostly keep the horses right as possible. so that he didn't have two different programs to think about the whole time. So
you got them locked down pretty solid. You're talking about just 2 months out from the fraternity. Yeah. So I mean, you're not fighting it all year long.
No, definitely not. I have enough trouble getting them trained for myself. So when you add that other element in there early on, I think it would be extremely tough.
Yeah, so you got to have a pretty solid program, John. It's got to be pretty right rein, left rein, kind of both reins stop kind of program to be able to put more than one different non-pro or amateur on there. You've got to have a pretty good, solid, no tricks kind of program to match up like that, huh?
It has to be like that, Russell, for me too, because I'm not very smart, so I have to be able to remember it from day to day, you know?
Well, yeah, I know.
No, I think you're talking to the choir here. I tell people all the time, I base my training programs based around the fact that I'm not very smart and I'm kind of lazy. So I don't want to remember much and I don't want to work very hard.
Yeah, keep it simple,
right.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, I found, went through a little spell there where I had a handful of non-pros and like I'd work super hard at getting them right, and then I'd work super hard at trying to get them to ride them right, and by the end of the day, I was irritated, my non-pro was irritated, and my horse was real irritated. And so I got to where if they wanted to ride an aged event, snaffle bit kind of a cow horse, that I made them make the commitment. They were going to ride that rascal 3 days a week or never. And it had to be like, for me, it had to be one or the other. And so that makes a lot of sense what you're saying there as far as you've got them pretty solid there, and then you just kind of let them on, get on there and feel it out a little and go horse show.
More just feel it out, yeah, and then just go show them.
Well, probably too, as big a part of that as anything is that they had another horse.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't not ride.
No, they have to ride. You bet.
Yeah, they got to ride. So do you show with them much pre-fraternity up north, or what's your program on those 3-year-olds before you get to the fraternity with the horses you were sharing with your non-pros and your amateurs?
We would both show them at the pre-fraternity at home. You know, if one of us messed up an event, same as at the big fraternity, if somebody messes up an event, that's it. You're out.
It's like world's greatest, sudden death.
Yeah. So if you messed up, then you're out, so the other guy can
have a better shot.
Have a better go, yeah.
That's what my wife does when I catch ride her horses, too.
Yeah.
If I stub my toe, hope you enjoyed the ride.
You're out.
Love you, but you're afoot now.
Yeah. You twisted the breast collar. You're out. No, you're not even going in there. Wrong bridle. Sorry. You're off. So, because not only is sharing them a big deal, but when you're both going, that also limits the amount of schooling that you're going to be doing, because you got horses running twice. It's not like you're schooling a horse for one person to show. So, it comes into realizing you can't overdo them. You got to be a little more careful about. You just can't go out there and school. No, or let them school either.
Yeah, they got to try, and you got to keep them pretty fresh, and at night it's kind of limited. They get to stop them a couple times, and that's about it. And maybe work them once in the practice pen before they show, and just same as me, because you're dealing with a 3-year-old, so you don't have an endless supply of horse. And
you're going to need them if you make the finals.
Yeah, you bet.
Especially if you do it twice. And a lot of great horses do it, but you got to use your head a little bit, which go back to what Chris is saying. That's good horsemanship. I like that. So early on, you came from a training family.
Yep. My mom and dad trained jumping horses and, showed some cutting horses and stuff like that. And
did you follow suit with them? Did you get into the jumping at all?
I had to. It wasn't a choice. Yeah.
You're pretty young then.
Yeah. I rode English and showed in the jumping, and I got sent out for lessons because I was a poor listener. So I got sent elsewhere to ride.
In the English?
Yes. Yes. Because
that lessons were in English or Canadian?
French.
Yeah, French, definitely. Yeah, because with mom and dad, it was like I am doing that, and so they eventually shipped me off to somebody else.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom sent me to there was a guy, he'd been like an Olympic coach or something, and my first lessons were English.
Yeah,
in Alabama.
Yeah, so I rode with Alan Brand for a while, and then finally weaseled my way out of it because I really didn't think that was cool, the English and the jumping, and I just wanted to rope. So
You ever wish you'd have stayed with that at all?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
I know Sarah events, and so we follow a lot of the eventing stuff. And there's a guy, Mikhail Young, but this guy is, I mean, they're doing 3 events: English, the dressage, and the show jumping, and the cross country, and it is sweet,
pretty cool. Yeah.
And I mean, and like when I've gone out with her to some eventing courses and stuff and walked those cross country, I mean, the jumps are unbelievable and intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But walking that course, by the time you get back, you're like, "Where's my horse?" Like, let's get it on. I could see that being
Fun.
a huge deal. So what all English did they? Did they more of the flat stuff when you said the jumping, the show jumping?
Yeah, it was, they were, I think, grooming me to be a show jumper, and I managed to weasel my way out before.
Well, I'm glad you found an event you sucked at.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It made our lives harder.
Yeah. So you stepped off into the roping.
Yeah, I, high school rodeoed and did that stuff, and right after high school, I went to work for Les Timmons, and I didn't last very long at that. I decided I didn't want to be a horse trainer, so I went and worked at a feedlot for 5 years or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, worked at Western Feedlot, and then kind of figured it might be okay to try and be a horse trainer.
Right? Was there something that happened that brought you back, or just got tired of freezing in a feedlot?
Yeah, sick of the winters. Yeah, riding outside all winter. Yeah.
No indoor feedlots.
No indoor feedlots. No, definitely not.
That doesn't happen.
No. So
while you're feedlotting, are you still roping some, or?
no, just jackpotting and stuff like that. Yeah, that was all it was.
Head or heel?
Head. Yeah.
Russell's a pretty accomplished team roper. He was the champion Tongue River Invitational.
There is that.
There is that.
There's that.
He was the only one entered.
No, I was not. My God, I mean, the superstars were there. I mean, as high as Matt Cook, huh?
You had to get around Matt Cook.
I got him. And now retired.
Cheating? Was there cheating involved?
None.
None.
Straight up.
I heard there was maybe a power issue. Maybe Russell got ahead and cut the lights. This is a rumor I heard.
Whatever. Win's a win, I say.
Yeah.
If we don't clean this interview up, John's going to pull the plug on these mics.
So you're working in the feedlot. Roping comes in handy there, huh?
Yep.
Doctoring and pin stuff. Still riding. So Les Timmons has helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Up north, I hear that name a lot.
Yep.
Good hand. And when you get back in, you get back on your own, or do you go somewhere? How do you step back into the training?
I just kind of started up my own little deal and kind of started getting some better and better horses. And
So when you first start out, are you just breaking colts, or you?
yeah, I rode a lot of colts.
Not really. Are you headed for the show pin yet, or just riding?
No, just was riding colts, and with the idea of hopefully getting there someday.
Were you leasing your own place, or did you bought your own place?
No,
there,
I,
or were you
I was just at mom and dad's.
Yep.
Yeah.
And was brother training?
Not yet. No, I don't know. It was a few years later when he started. Yeah.
So now you're probably early 20s?
Yeah, just about 20. Yeah.
Oh, just 20, yeah.
Exactly 20.
Got done with school quick.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Didn't want to go to college.
No.
It seems to run in the family.
School, and I didn't get along very good. No.
Did
Was
you
that
play
the
sports?
authoritarian problem?
Maybe that's it, Russell. Yeah.
Yeah. A little trouble with authority.
Yeah.
You just needed me to come along a little sooner and offer the man hug.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That would have really been helpful.
Could have been in touch with his sensitive side a little sooner. He could have got along.
Yeah.
I think
We're
we're losing
Go out there
Ben.
in the pins.
I think Ben might be falling asleep on us over here.
Well, he's young.
Ben says this is a longer day than school.
Go out.
For people that don't notice, our mastermind of this deal is 15 years old and does a heck of a job on our production side, but he is fading on us pretty quickly over here.
He'll develop stamina.
Yeah. So in school, did you play sports? I mean, you're in Canada, so you got to play hockey.
Yeah, no, I played hockey when I was little, and I wasn't very good. I can't skate, so.
That's a serious drawback.
Curling?
More of a curler.
No sports. I played some baseball. That was it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not a good athlete. No, so sports and I didn't get along good.
Gotcha.
So he got on horses because they are athletes.
There you go. Yeah.
Genius.
Vicariously
You
through
just-
the four-legged creature.
Got to
Yeah.
try and stay on them. Yeah.
I saw some pretty athletic maneuvering on a video not long ago. Was that in Idaho?
Beautiful.
Where was that?
No.
Yeah, that
was
was
that
at
Idaho?
home.
That
No.
was at home. That was
at
in
home. Yeah.
Yeah. That was in Canada.
Red Deer?
Claire's home.
Claire's home.
Snaffle Bit for charity. Yep.
For those of y'all that haven't seen it, find it on the internet someplace. There's a video of John Swales. His horse stumbles, and he ends up getting off his horse and basically steer wrestling this cow while he's going down the fence.
Well, yeah, but give him credit. First, he manages to get in front of the saddle horn while leaving his feet in the stirrups.
Right.
Not easy.
No.
Then he
Makes a man hug-
overloads.
makes a man hug
hugs the
look.
neck.
Yeah.
He's put an extensive amount of weight on this horse's front feet, who manages to stay hooked with the cow
Manages to carry me.
and carry him with his poor little neck doing all it can do to hold him up. Keeps him right where he needs to be, and then just gently places him on the cow and turns it on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss something?
No, that was pretty much it, Russell. Yeah.
And probably the only thing keeping it from being the ultimate perfect video of all time is he didn't just go ahead and bulldog him, but I'm telling you, he was there.
He had no horns. In his defense,
Thank
he had
you.
him by
Thank
the
you,
ears.
Chris.
Well, he could have done it.
Don't pick on my hero.
Bill Pickett style.
Yeah, Bill Pickett. Bite a lip.
Yeah.
Bite a lip. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, see it. It runs in the family. Great videos
This is
online.
a viral family. Yeah.
It is
So
viral.
we know about Clint's Appaloosa roping bucking experience. What about Veronica? Does she have any viral videos that we need to search out?
No, not yet. There's gonna be one coming,
Especially the
someday,
company
though.
she's keeping.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
The time's coming. So, but probably you might know a story.
Oh,
There's a story.
There's been some good buck offs, yeah. And there was one I recall one day. It was before the NRCHA World Show. We had body clipped one of my bridle horses because he was very hairy, and he was a little bit snorty, anyways. And I asked her, just throw a saddle on him and go lope him for me. So not really thinking about the ramifications of that. She threw a saddle on him and off she went, and she got on him and he blew up bucking, and she ended up, I believe, in front of the saddle horn. And
Common.
every time she would be just about off, he would pick her up again with his neck. And
That's the worst.
Won't let her out. Let me out.
yeah, it was spectacular. And
Let me out of the washing machine.
finally he picked her up, but kept going past her and whipped her down on the other side and knocked her out, kind of. Oh, it was good stuff.
She had no cow to break her fall.
No
No.
cow. Landed on her
Nothing.
ponytail and kind of cooled herself a little. Yeah, it was.
Was the ground frozen?
No, but it was probably pretty hard.
It was hard enough.
Yeah.
So you've got a large family, by our standards anyway. How many kids you got?
I have 3 boys.
3 Swales boys.
Yep.
Wow. And how old are they?
The oldest is 13. That's Tyree. Lane is 11, and Levi is 7. We call him Blue. Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought there was just 3. I was waiting.
Yeah.
Thought you forgot one or
No,
something.
yeah, we call him Blue, but his actual name's Levi.
Oh, I see how you get blue out of Levi. It's
Yep.
almost the same.
Blue jeans.
Blue
Got
jeans.
blue eyes. He's the only one with blue eyes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Blue eyes out of a red bearded guy.
I know.
Got some splaining, do Lucy.
Yep.
So when your oldest, Tyree's 13, where were you at in your training process? Your training, your career when you guys had Tyree?
I would have been just showing at home, I think, trying to figure out how to train one, I guess. Yeah.
Right? So trying to make a living.
Yep.
That's been kind of the overreaching theme that I've been wanting to find out about, how you struggle through those early years of your career and having that responsibility of having your family, and how to feed them?
Yeah, just, we started a lot of colts and showed the ones that were I deemed good enough, just led to better and better horses.
And just stayed right up there, pretty local at those
Yeah,
those
yeah,
days.
showed a lot at home.
Mostly cow horse,
Yeah.
John, or some cutting and other stuff? Or?
I did show quite a few cutters up until, I guess, 2010, I guess was the last year I showed at like cutting futurity colts and stuff. Yeah.
Much rope horse training at the time, or
I used to train the odd rope horse, not a bunch though. No,
not much?
no.
There is it AQHA big up there?
Yeah, I think it is, Russell, with the pleasure horses and halter horses, but not so much with the roping and the cow horse.
Yeah, so not a real market,
No.
not a real avenue there for
No.
you at all. And so when you're going around there, showing at the local cow horse club shows,
Yep.
yep. And who's putting all those on?
The ARCHA, which is the Alberta Rein Cow Horse Association, they run pretty much 2 shows a month for just weekend shows, and there's a snaffle bit derby in the spring, 2 futurities in the fall that have derbies at them as well.
Are you real involved in that association?
I used to be on the board. I haven't been for quite a few years though.
When do you start looking south to come down here to the major events and stuff?
When
Come
did
north?
I?
Yeah.
It was 2005. I came to try the world's greatest horseman
That's what brought you.
deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to try that. It wasn't very good, but I knew then what I had to try and do.
And when you started coming to the world's greatest, were there any 4 events up north in Canada?
No, I don't. Yeah, there was. There was one in Saskatchewan. It was called the Canada's Greatest Cow Horse Event.
Yeah. I heard that. I was wondering if it was before you came or not.
Yeah.
So, and it's still going?
No, that one has been done for quite a few years, but in Alberta, there's been one, Canada's Greatest Horseman. They've had that quite a few times. Yep.
Kind of picked up.
Yep.
So in 05, was that the year you had Echo? And did you have like an illegal head catch or something? Was that year?
No, 05 was, I had a horse, his name was EF Pepicola.
I got you.
Yep.
So it must have been 06. I think I was scribing that year.
It would have been 2011 maybe.
Oh, really?
I had
That
him.
late?
Yeah, I had Smart Miss Wolf for 2009, 2010. Yeah, and I had an illegal head catch on her.
Okay.
That was who
Okay. I
yeah.
remember scribing. I was scribing for Doug Ingersoll, and he runs out there and whatever illegal, maybe he roped a front leg or something and kicks this thing up and around and circles this cow and pulls that rope off. And I mean, like, no time elapsed.
Sweet.
It was, and then gets it off, rebuilds, and smokes one on there. And I mean, it was as impressive of a run that you could see with a miss in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was cool.
So when you come the first time, what goes wrong in 05? Did you make finals?
No, I didn't make the finals. No. Yeah, I didn't show very good in the cutting, and I was terrified, Russell, being that far away from home. Yeah. So it was pretty scary, and I didn't do very good. But
What about that first loop in the roping at the world's greatest? I thought I roped a lot my whole life. It wasn't PRC or anything, but my first loop at the world's greatest was just don't miss, was just
that's
terrible.
A very hard concept when you have that one steer to rope for that much money. Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
I caught, and I just don't even know how I opened my hand.
Yeah.
And had never experienced that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, remember my first year, it was 12 or 13 was my first year showing in that deal. And wow. Like, and that's the only event. That was the event that I wanted to do, right? That's where I fell in love with the event. And so I had this event on such a pedestal, and it was, oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, puckered brings on a whole new term.
So when you get done with that, what are you thinking? You go home and you know what you're working on, or?
Yeah. Yeah. There, I knew kind of thought I knew what I needed to do when I went home, and took me a few years, and came back in 2009.
Oh, in 9, so
Yeah.
4 years. Yep. Another different horse.
Yeah. Different horse. Yeah.
And the coolest thing about that event, we talk about this event being sudden death, but fast forwarding back up to 2017, that event, the herd didn't go as planned really there, as I recall.
No, it didn't.
Chris,
Chris,
bad help, I think, out front.
must have been. I marked a whopping 207. Yeah, in the
Bam.
in the finals. Yeah,
Here we go.
All right.
Take that.
Yeah, and turn around and be the winner. So, I mean, it's like never say die.
Never quit. And it's almost like a relief because now you just go for it and everything else.
Yeah, just let it all hang out, I guess, in every event. Yeah, as much as you can.
So was that one of your biggest wins?
Yes.
That World's Greatest?
Yep.
Did it help you in your getting horses and
Yes, I think it did. For sure, yeah.
and quality?
Yep.
So that was a pretty long road. What's that, 11 years?
Yeah.
And then pulled it off. But, such a tough one to pull off. One horse, one rider deal, sudden death. Did it help? Did you see a lot of effect from that at home? People at home recognizing it and maybe thinking about bringing you some more bridle horses for it?
Yeah, a little bit, Russell. Yeah, there has been some opportunity there from it for sure. Yep.
I know down here, like you say, the guys that are immersed in the event have obviously known who you are for a long time, but from a kind of an outside perspective down here, I feel like that really, in the eyes of the Americans, really puts you on the map, kind of an out of nowhere kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's kind of that same deal. 20 years to be an overnight success?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yep.
That's what happens. So,
Paparazzi following you around.
Oh, everywhere, yeah. Downtown Black Diamond, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to say, John, like you guys up there training them smaller pins and stuff, and I go up there, I don't know, a year ago or two, and I judge. And I go up there, and it's a tough little pin, tough little show. It's like Caldwell used to be, and the cattle are pretty tough. And I see you come in there on between 4 and 5 Derby horses and 4 and 5 Futurity horses, and I think you messed one run up. And the cattle were not simple. They were a little slow on the end, so they made you think maybe they weren't going to run, but they had tons of feel. If you crawled up on them too soon around the corner, they'd start running, but if you got up there too soon, they shut off on you. And I was really impressed with your grasp of the fence work and being able to handle every cow that came out there. And I was wondering how did you get to wrapping your head around the fence work, and what's your theory in it? And what's the base of your fence work when you're training?
The base of my fence work is those horses just better not let a cow go anywhere without them. I want them to do it on their own. I just kind of want to be a passenger, if at all possible. Of course, I'm going to help them out, but at home, they better do it by themselves. So
what do you do a lot of at home in your training? As far as, say, a maneuver, a rate, go by?
Just lots of running beside those cattle, so those horses run beside cattle, and they don't care. That's their safe place.
Do you go all the way around the pin a lot?
Lots,
or?
yeah.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah. Lots of laps in those little pins.
Yeah, lots of laps. Yeah, and when we were in the 120-foot indoor, we'd just go round and round and round and round and just make those horses go as close to those cows as I could possibly go. And just, that was their safe place, and they better stay there.
I've found sometimes, like, we get such big pins down here that sometimes you don't get enough opportunity to get around that corner. Mm-hmm. I've been at places that had, 175 by 350 outdoors, and it's nice because you're not running into anything, but at the same time, them horses, it's a super good situation for them all the time. So sometimes you get in a pen that's a little smaller and things are happening a little faster, and that's just like, whoa, holy crap. So, I know guys down here, there are guys around that have smaller pins, and I would try and go over there and work down the fence. I'd go to Robert Jones and, get in there and let him get a hold of that cow boxing, and it was supremely beneficial. So I think a lot of guys now they're wanting to build as big a pen as possible, but sometimes maybe to their chagrin.
Maybe at times because they don't, in those little pens, they have to take the heat and stay there. Yeah.
Well, plus you probably get more corners, in them great big pens, your cow's out of air and your horse is out of air after about 3 corners, even if you are going to try to go all the way around. Whereas in them smaller pens, it's just corner, set it up, corner, set it up, corner, set up for eternity. And would you agree, John, that how you come around that corner it sets up the whole run?
It definitely does, yeah, for sure.
And what about the difference between cattle up there and down here?
Our cattle don't have near the head I don't feel as the cattle here. They're a little number, a lot more British, and
A lot more English because you're up there for the cold.
Yeah.
And you step down here and you start getting that Bramer
Yeah.
influence, and they get a little more leg on them and
Yeah.
stuff. So how do you deal with cattle that are a little quicker, feely? Say you're coming down here, the futurity, them cattle are going to shut off when you get to, they might shut off when you get to the shoulder.
Yeah.
Whereas up there, you've been going to your back cinch.
Yeah.
What do you do about that?
Just try and make sure those horses are pretty tight when they run up beside a cow. They're waiting for it. Yeah.
Do you try to get on some of those kind of cattle down here before you go? Or
Ideally, yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll make sure they get in the practice pen at the show, and as many, like once or twice, and just make sure they're screwed down pretty tight.
So them smaller practice pins probably right in your back door with the felier cattle, not a real problem. You're used to the smaller practice pin as far as going by and stuff.
Yeah, you bet.
What do you see a common issue that you see people having with the fence work across the board in the shows everywhere you go?
The biggest one I see a lot of is people being laid out of the corner. Making those horses run to catch that cow instead of leaving with the cow.
How much do you put into how you handle the boxing to set that up?
Russell, I feel to a certain extent that you set your fence run up in the box. So in my own head, I put a lot of emphasis on the boxing.
So what are you trying to accomplish while you're boxing your cow? What's your mindset when you step in there and look at and start moving that cow? And what are you trying to get done in the boxing?
I want to try and get a read on that cow, and I want to teach him that I can stop him and try and put some feel in him, I guess, if he doesn't have any, and mostly try and get a read on the cow, how hard he's going to run. And, they lie to you a lot down there, but.
So what are you doing with the cow that comes out and just doesn't go anywhere, that wants to play boxer with you on the end?
I'll let him play for a sec, and then I'll try and send him somewhere and stop him, send him somewhere and stop him and be gone.
You feel like a lot of times people stay a little long down there and take a little feel off them cattle?
Especially at home, Russell, I do, because a lot of people have the idea that they want to take air out of the cow in the boxing for some reason, and so they do stay a long time, instead of just putting some feel in it so you can stop it and get gone.
And it seems like with that mentality, what it'll bite you a lot of the time is even after the first turn, even as soon as the second turn, you start losing that feel.
You do, definitely, and our cattle at home, you make them mad.
Yeah.
Knocking them around down there for too long.
And then they're on that, say you get through your second turn, now they're kind of on the fight. You're struggling to get your first circle.
Yeah, you can't stop them for your second turn, down the fence, whatever. Yeah, there's various things that come about because of it.
Yeah, you feel like it's hard to keep them circles and stuff rolling when that cow doesn't have the motion taking you somewhere in that pen?
Definitely, yeah. If you knock too much cow out of that cow, or too much cow out in the boxing, you're not going to have enough cow to finish the run.
What's your ultimate run in your mind?
One turn each way and one tight turn each way, no loops, roll into the middle and circle up tight.
Do you put a lot of stress on getting circled in the middle of the pen in your mind?
Yes.
Have you messed with switching in front very much on a cow?
I do at home quite a bit. Yeah, I do.
What are the benefits and negatives of that, trying to pull it off in a show pen?
Those cows that fall away from you are really hard to get up that far on, I've not done it very much in the show pen, but I do it at home quite a bit just to make sure those horses follow that cow's head around.
One thing I found, I got into a little deal where I was switching in front all the time at home and loved it, and was trying to teach, and with the intention of trying to do it more in the show pen. And I found that them horses were some of them would get a little strong.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, if I sent them to that cow, they might take me up there a little faster and might start shutting those cows off early.
Yeah.
And I sure run into that. And so I've had to go back, and I still do it a lot, but I've had to go back and switch behind a lot. Like the last 2 years, I have, Clay Vollmer, he got me on it because I had one that was mucho strong. I sent this on the gun to the middle, and I had no more input on what was going on. And so for a couple weeks before the fraternity, it was just switch behind, doctor cows and switch behind. And, and so like I say, there can be some ramifications there, I think, and talking about that boxing, I don't know. The way I look at it a little bit is a lot of times I'll leave sooner with a wilder cow, right? If it's wild, almost dragging me around that corner, but I got good position, I'm not going to be opposed to going.
No.
Maybe a turn or two before I really wanted to, if I've got good position on him around that corner, because if he's wild like that, the chances of me getting it set up and being in a good position around that corner again are slim. And I'd just soon take that air out of him down the fence, especially if I've got the advantage and getting out of that corner up there in the neck where I want to be. I'm going to take that shot. And them cows that come out, the worst thing for me, what I like, is the cows that come out and then just turn around and don't look at you and don't do nothing. I'm going to stay on the end. Those are the cows I'm going to stay on the end longer. I'm going to make that rascal move and get moved around, because those are the ones I really feel are the liars.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, this cow's going to be soft. And then you turn around there and you don't have any feel on him. And then he sees open country and is just don't know you're there and blows under your neck and does all kinds of ignorant stuff, And so it's a little counterintuitive to stay down there on a quieter cow.
Yes, it is.
And you'll hear people in the stands like, what's he doing? Like, he needs to go. I'm like, well, you go.
Yeah. I have no idea where he's going to go.
Right.
I can't figure out where he's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I hate about those is they make you pull off a little more to get him to go, and then you're opening the center of that pin up. I'm on that corner.
Yeah.
Like they're not letting you get in there to push him. They just turn back on you.
Yeah.
I know in Pueblo you'd run into cows. We used to show there a lot in that pen. For some reason, them cows would come out and they would run back and forth fast on the end, but they wouldn't try you. Like, they weren't trying to get by you. They were just running from side to side. And on those, I found that you had to get out of there right now, because about 3 trips around that pen and they were going to air themselves out. And if you got them turned once, they would just flat quit.
Yep.
And you were out of luck. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
and
especially
so
if you hit them hard in that first turn and then they just give up.
Ice them right there.
And you can't.
Yeah, now you go about 10 feet for your second turn and then trot around the circle. That's fun.
Yuck.
Yeah.
It's like, get the heck out of here.
Try not to touch them because they might fall over plumb easy. How much do you put into going and watching the cattle in front of you?
Yeah, I want to see a few runs. Yeah. Yeah, you bet. Definitely try and watch as many as I can to see what the majority looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you change your game plan quite a bit for that.
I will if they look really strong or if they look really weak. It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, like sometimes you go watch the first 2 or 3. I see this a lot at the shows. You watch the first 2 or 3 and you think you know what the cattle are going to act like, and something about those first ones will be completely different.
Yeah.
If you'll watch 5 and 6, they'll give you a better idea. I don't know if the different cattle just get in the front of the herd back there or what.
I think so, yeah. The wild ones will go to the back and the good ones, first ones will peel off.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite kind of cow to work? Color or breed? Either way.
Boy, I don't know. The ones I can mark high on. How's that sound?
I tell folks
hate
I
those.
need a cow. What I'm looking for in a cow is it's got both eyes and at least 3 legs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What are you looking for? What are you changing anything for your future? Are you focusing, say, on derbies or fraternities, bridle horses? What do you think about the industry just going forward from right here?
I think the industry looks very positive. With the entries that were at the Snaffle Bit Futurity, and it seems like there's a lot of colts out there, and I think that's a positive thing. And as far as me, Russell, I'm just trying to get better.
Do you see the horse numbers improving or getting bigger in Canada the same as they are here right now after the fraternity?
Yes, it's been good at home as well. Yep.
Have you guys you haven't had a show yet up there this year, have you?
No.
So, and your first one will be in March?
Yeah, April.
April
will be our first one. Yep.
Then you'll know about the derbies. What about your prices up there? Are they getting any stronger?
Oh, they're not, definitely not like they are here, but you can get okay money for them. Yep.
Are they holding in? How How far off are they from here, do you think, for the same horse?
They're a fair ways off, Russell. We don't have the buyers. We don't have the people that see the usefulness of a cow horse. You know, we don't have the association that is down here. You know, that there's a lot of people in the around this area that are in the industry. So it keeps your prices up. You know, people are wanting to do it at home. Our association's quite small, so we don't have the people looking for the horses, you know. So
Don't have the same demand.
yeah, you bet. So we have to price accordingly and stuff.
So do you, because in California, it wasn't what it was here by any means. I mean, this is it's crazy down here in Texas, even the Oklahoma area, the amount of people that want a horse.
Yeah.
And so then your demand's up. So do you see your bloodlines changing up there? Do you see you guys yourself being able to sell horses this way for more money going forward?
Not this way, no. Not like down here, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But we are definitely getting better and better bloodlines at home all the time. You know, there's people come to the cutting futurity and buy some nice colts, and there's getting to be some better stud horses and broodmares at home. So
Up there.
Yeah, you bet.
And the bridle horse market up there, have you seen any improvement in it yet?
You know, the bridle horse market is okay. There's lots of people looking for bridle horses, maybe not wanting to spend the money that they're maybe worth. And, you know, they're far and few between at home.
Is there anything up there like an equivalent to the high school rodeo down here?
Yes, they do have the cow horse in the high school rodeo at home. Yep.
And that's now do they come down to these finals?
I think they have been coming. There's been a couple kids come down for the national finals. Yeah.
Right. So outside of horse training, you're an avid hunter. How's the hunting season been?
It was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good year.
What'd you get?
Got a 200-inch mule deer and a pretty nice elk, and yeah.
Nice. The boys go hunting with you?
This was Tyree's second year hunting, and he shot a pretty nice elk. So, yeah, he was pretty excited about that.
Right.
Yeah.
The younger boys, they in there yet, or?
They want to, yeah, but they got a couple of years to wait still.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what about I don't know about you. I've had 2 jobs in my life, and I was fired from both of them. Did you have much employment history other than the feedlot?
I worked for Les Timmons, and I didn't make it very long there.
Did you quit or did you get fired?
I actually quit, Chris. Yeah, I
got one up on you then.
I wanted to go.
2-0.
Well, horse training wasn't for me at that point, so I went to work for Western Feedlots, and was there for a while, and then decided I wanted to be a horse trainer, so I quit.
Uh-huh. And are you guys still there at the family place, or do you have another? Do you guys get a new place?
We built a new place west of Millerville. Yep, about 40 minutes from the family place there. Yeah.
Right. And is your wife involved in your business?
Yep. Yeah, she.
Like me and Russell. Like Russell anyway. Mine is my business.
Yeah, she does
Yeah,
all
me
the
too.
Runs everything.
bills and all that sort of stuff, and yeah.
Let you just focus on the horse training.
Yeah, I'm pretty poor at returning emails and texts and stuff, so she has to do that as well.
It has very limited value.
Very right. Just like pays the bills.
I know he just pays the bills and kills some meat now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you sew or
No.
not much sewing?
No, I thought about learning to knit this winter, maybe rustle or something like that, but I haven't got to it yet.
It's too cold for underwater basket weaving. I think.
Yeah.
Your skiing career never took off.
No, it didn't. No, I had high hopes for it, but I never took off. So
Did you ever put any skis on?
I have skied a few times. I'm very dangerous, very fast, very little control.
Oh, ski or snowboard?
Ski. Yeah.
So I have to share my snowboarding story. So we go. I've never been any kind of winter sports, right? And my wife, she likes to ski. Her family skis. Brother snowboards. So we go to Mount Rose, and we struggle through the bunny hill, and we get the lessons, right? The snowboard lessons, and we're pushing around with these 10-year-old kids, right? And they're mastering it.
They're so annoying.
Right before our
They're
eyes.
so annoying.
Right? The good news is by now I'm warm, right? Because this is a lot of work. And so,
Stupid tow rope.
yeah. So while I'm learning and getting my solo lesson there with the group of children, my wife leaves me and goes up the ski lift, and they're having a big time. So I struggle through my lesson, and I go up the slope. We come down the bunny slope there a time or two, and every time I get this thing going, the instructor, whoa, slow down. Just got this thing going.
Yeah.
I don't do slow very well anyway, and this guy don't know me. I got to go somewhere. So I make 2 laps around the bunny hill, and it is.
You got it mastered now.
It's over.
No, I don't at all. It sucks.
Just tired of being there.
Tired of being there. After the second lap around, I didn't even strap my foot in the other boot on the second time through. Like, I can't get the thing to go anywhere. I'm like, this thing's broken. Oh, so I make it back. I'm by myself. I'm on a family vacation. I'm by myself. Okay, sweating.
Heading for the
in the snow.
chairlift.
No chair. No. At this point, I'm going to the clubhouse or whatever, the ski lodge. Like, there's some beverages in there, and I'm going to go hang out in there. That's my speed. It's warm. Like, I don't want warm at this point. I mean, profusely sweating. So I go in there, and I'm sitting there dejected by myself, feeling like just a bum, right? There I am, drinking my beer. And in walks my family, my wife and her brother and his wife and my father and mother-in-law. And they walk in, and it's like a movie. They're like throwing their hair back, and it's just like, oh, life is so wonderful. Like, oh, just come freshly in off the ski slopes, and there I sit with my beer. This is stupid, and I'm never going on a winter vacation again. Well, so we sit in there, kind of rejuvenate, and my wife talks me in to going up the next lift with them. Come on up.
It'll be way more fun.
It'll be fun.
It'll be
It'll
fun.
be more.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So there we are on our second. I've managed to get off the chairlift this time. I haven't wrecked anything. I got to the second chairlift. I get off of it. Well, on my way up the second chairlift, I realized that nature has called. And I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be someplace up there. There's people that work these lifts. Like, there's a place
To go.
to
pee.
go. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, I'm in the woods. There's trees everywhere. I'm like, it's fine. So I get off the second chairlift, take my board off, and I go walking across the snow over towards these trees. Got my board. I mean, feeling like a pro. Got my snowboard under my arm. Well, there's hard-packed trails, come to find out, where you walk and ski around up there. And when you get off that, you sink rapidly.
To your waist.
Chest.
Chest.
So there I am, like
It's not as tall as you.
No, like an inverted turtle. And I think I'm dying. Like, I'm face first in the snow, and I'm pushing with my arms. There's nothing to push on. Finally, self-preservation kicks in. You have a board. Get it in front of you. Push off of that. And all I can hear in the background is my father-in-law cackling. Loudly. Slapping himself, laughing. I get my board in front of me. I get pushed up out of the snow, and I'm like, well, didn't have the presence of mind just to go ahead and
Go pee.
and relax myself while I was in there. So I get back up, get my board strapped on. I'm like, the restroom is at the bottom of that hill. And I point this board downhill, and away I go. And basically all I know about snowboarding is lean on your toes to turn right and lean on your heels to go left. And we are carrying the mail, mister, down the hill. And I'm like crouched down, got my hand over here, like scooping a little snow, thinking I am like Shaun White snowboarder, right? Here we go. We're doing it. Like, this is cool. I get around the corner, and they're hooping and hollering now, but I'm going
Cheering
way,
you on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's ski patrol or whatever you call them. They're like, you need to slow down. I'm like, got it. I'm a professional.
When I get there.
I turn this corner. I'm like, okay, now I need to turn left. I push on my heels. When I push on my heels, the world disappeared. Back first, pow. Feet over the head, like tumbling wreck. I don't know. I couldn't see it, but I hope it looked as spectacular as it felt because it hurt. Anyway, I get myself back up. Nobody's checked on me yet because I was going fast. They have not caught up. I point this thing. I'm like, still, the motivation is still there.
I still got to go.
I still got to get down this hill. And I point this rascal again. This time I make one turn. I go to turn it back the other way with my toe, and I'm face first. Knocks my goggles off. I don't even, it hurts so bad I don't even have to go to the bathroom anymore. I don't think I did anything to myself, but it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. That was my last skiing.
Done.
So.
Were you that good?
Yeah. I would have been right in the same league, I think. Yeah. A lot of snow flying in my crashes. Yeah. The odd ski flying through the area.
I love the snow. Because I could go fast and the wrecks just weren't as bad as on ground. I was a phenomenal jumper. I was a horrible lander. Horrible. But it just didn't seem to matter that much until, other people got in there.
So what is I guess we kind of talked about the fence work, but what's the biggest training mistake or biggest misconception you think people have regarding the cow horses?
Maybe too much direct rein in a fence turn. Yep.
That'll get you.
Pulling that direct rein to try and get your turn. Popping the rear end out.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about, really.
Yep. No, I'd say that's a big one.
That's a big one.
I just told, we were talking to somebody the other day about the cutting. I'm like, behind about 80% of the lost cows at the Snaffle Bit Fraternity, there's somebody standing in an inside stirrup and pulling a rein. Like,
yes.
Who have their body turned around, like you just watch it time after time.
Time after time.
It doesn't make things go faster.
No. You know what? And also, like, watching it, especially last year, I got to commentate, so I'm right there in the booth over top. I was amazed at how many people come down and they're just going to go hold the line on cattle that are pushing on them instead of. It was very, very common when I first started, which there weren't very many new cows at all. Very, very, very few. People gave to the cow when they're pushing on them past the middle marker a lot. And now it's almost as if they think they're going to go to the spot in the arena and they're going to go straight across as if they're working a flag. And if it goes by them, it's not their fault.
Right.
It's not. There's nothing holding you there. You can give as much as you want. And the other thing is there's no rush. You can box for a long time. There's no time limit. I really feel like you wind up with the direct rein and losing the hip. And that cow just gets deeper and deeper on you, and then pretty soon they run by you, and you're going after them. Luckily, you get a lot of new cow whistles. But I wished I could see a little more, especially now we're going to the Will Rogers. That is a bowl down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some danger. When you go down in there and to engage that cow, if you can't step in there, move it, give ground, and go hold it, man, it can really develop.
Super hard to box a cow outside of the gate area. Like, if you try and box that cow in front of the bucking chutes, like, that gets a little tricky. You're not just going straight across there and holding that line. You're going down the fence, whether you wanted to or not.
I wonder, too, as the industry, we spent a lot of years in big flat-backed arenas, and there wasn't a lot of necessity to give. Earlier on, it seemed like we showed in a lot smaller arenas there in Reno, and then it just got to where we're used to just going back and forth, and people kind of lost the give. Well, now seems like we're getting back into a lot more arenas there around nose. That one up there in Oklahoma City at the AQHA World Show, that one's a bear. It's round. Them cattle run. The flat wall is not very long. If you get past the flat wall and that wall starts pushing them cattle,
coming into you, yep.
They come to you, and if you can't move out to get by, you're just right, clickety clackety clack, right on around marker after marker.
That's how I built this arena here in Will Rogers. There's 113 foot of straight wall in the Will Rogers arena. That's exactly, according to my tape measure, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And that pin's 247 feet long from gate to gate. And so my arena here at the house is 315 long, but I got 100 foot of straight wall. So I've got that simulation of that corner so that you can practice it. Your horses can get used to that. It's just a little different move, I feel like, And so, like I say, it's hard to find an arena like that to practice in. I think I had to just learn about it basically in Oklahoma City. Well, we had the Texas Classic we'd show in down here, and between there and Oklahoma City, those were my two opportunities to learn how to handle that situation. Most of the time it was for money.
Have you worked on that since moving here more, John, or not much different than what you were used to practicing on up there?
No, I haven't worked on it much. We have one round-ended arena we show in at Calgary Stampede, and that's about the only one we have at home.
Are you square cornered or round cornered in your practice, in your training pen?
They're both square, but those cows come for you in the indoor because it's 90 wide and
Yep.
they are coming for you.
Come to you.
Yeah.
So do you think that it makes you develop more feel getting around the corner with that square corner practicing versus the round corner?
I find the square corners harder for myself, because those horses, when you're driving that cow across the end, that cow's 75% of the time going to stall in that corner. So, I find that difficult.
So zero margin of error in that square corner.
Yeah, and to make those horses wait, because by the time you hit that corner, they're thinking heading down the fence, So, whereas for me, the round corners they have more flow to them.
It's real easy to be late. Real easy to be late in that dead square corner.
It seems to be, yes.
I remember that's how Reno was like in 02. Back in the day, it was almost recessed. Remember that outgate was right in the corner, and them rascals would go over there and
Yep.
hang on that gate latch.
Idaho has the same thing, because that outgate's right there, and about 3/4 of the way through your run across the end before you go down the fence, that cow will stall and want to turn back at that gate.
Talking about working them cattle longer, people staying a little longer, taking a little air out, and I remember them switching to the round corners. Originally, when I went, most everything was a square corner, and when you had the square corner, you did not stay as long, because the longer you stayed and the more air you took out of them cattle, the tougher and tougher it got to get around that square corner.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just kind of forced you down the pin and made you think more about more turns and less boxing.
Yes. Yeah, because ideally a fresher cow won't hunt that corner as much as when you've overboxed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find I'll watch, and if I'm watching and I think, okay, that's where I'd go, and if they stop that cow again, then the next time when they go, they might be in the right spot, but like they train that cow to stop over there, and then things will set up right there in that corner. I mean, it's almost like you can just about set your watch by it, and you get to looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can watch people. They'll stay a little long, and then they've really done a lot of just keeping that cow in the middle of that boxing, and then it's kind of aired up. So now they want to go, so they got to drop back a little more to get around that corner. But they've taught that cow that every time they come, they're going to stop it. Mm-hmm. So they drop back a little more. That cow starts rolling. Now they need to get there to go get position on the cow. And they're running up there, and right about the flank, this thing shuts off.
Down. Yep.
Because they kind of run out of air, and they're looking for the stop all the time. I see that a lot. And I wonder a little bit about, we've had them around corners for so long that people haven't had to go with cattle with a little more go. And it also seems like being able to box them longer, go around that easier corner, we've gotten away from the 3-turn run, that was the ultimate when I first started. Mm-hmm. Everything was a 3-turn run. And now we're a 2-turn kind of industry in the cow horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just personally, I lean to my 3rd turn as much as I can, because I mean, like I say, unless my cow sakes, I really like to make a turn somewhere near the center of the pen.
Yeah, you bet.
And so if my 2nd turn's in the center, then I'm fine with it. But I sure like to try and set them rascals up.
The 2-turn thing has become, almost a standard. You see a lot of people make their 2nd turn and almost feel as though they have to go circle. I see that quite a bit, and way too much cow run into the center, and it would have been simple to go make another turn and
shape up.
Yep, knock a little more out of that cow and get some more shape. You bet.
The emphasis in the judging too, with the finishing strong, that's been a big deal. We just come back from a judges school, and big emphasis put on finishing strong.
Yep.
And so you might have some big turns, but then, like I say, if you take a risk that doesn't pay off down that, when you go to circle with too much, they will chop your head off right there.
And supposed to.
Yeah.
You got to pay when you mess up. If you roll the dice and lose, you lose. Do you see more 3 turns in the smaller pins up north?
Yep.
Yeah. Because it just shapes up that way, huh?
It shapes up that way, and for that 2nd turn, Russell, because that pin's pretty short, you're down quite a ways towards your outgate for that 2nd turn. So
really tough to get to that center, huh?
You better try and take him back down and chop him in about the middle somewhere. Yeah.
Get yourself a little room off of that back gate.
Yes,
Because
for sure.
my God, you can just feel the points falling off your run when you're wallering around down there by the out gate.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing worse than hitting that thing for the switch.
And
that back fence.
I think too, once you get committed to that circle, a lot of times a guy feels like you're stuck to that circle, and and maybe is afraid to switch sides because you haven't completed your first circle. But if you can keep trying to shape that cow to the center, I mean, that's what I try and make myself do, because it's I like my odds a lot better than trying to bust hump and get around there and getting pride off that out gate.
Yeah.
I think I did it last year at Snaffle Bit on the dun horse, and I got myself in a little situation to where I was down there in that end, and I just kept switching. And shoot, they ended up just giving me credit. They just added all my quarter circles together, I think, because I don't think I ever did make a full circle either direction. But they were tired of watching me switch. I was like, I'm not giving up on this. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to let this cow get back to this gate. I mean, whatever I have to do to keep that from happening. But I think, like you say, in the heat of the battle right there, sometimes you just get kind of glazed over. Like, well, I went to circle. I got to get on around him. And there you are, wadded up down there. And cow crosses in front of you to get in that gate. And it can get you and put you in a real dangerous situation besides losing points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're supposed to take the points away.
Well, we sure appreciate you stopping by, John. A very unexpected surprise, and glad we got to visit with you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
Thank you for listening to Cow Horse Full Contact. Please like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram to stay tuned for future episodes.